Yo, come one, come all, nothing but love, nothing but respect. You know what we do, what we don't, what we is, what we isn't, and what we is here today on this beautiful day of days. It is Friday, it is raining. I apologize in advance if you can hear the loud pitter-patter on my little dingy tin roof, but it is what it is. And we're here today bringing you guys and girls chapter 1051 of One Piece, the Shogun of Wano, Kozuki Momonosuke, which I guess that title alone just turns around and just disproves automatically any theory that anyone had that it was going to be Hiyori. Sorry, tough luck. It's Momo, alright? Oda's going for team boys, apparently. That being said, before we get into the chapter, you know what to do, you know what is appreciated, you know what is damn well expected at this point in time, alright? Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, alright? Like the video, give thumbs up, all that good stuff. And, yeah, let's just get straight into it. Oh, and yeah, we're still slowly chipping away at our goal of hitting 150 subscribers, alright? So, like I said, if you're a first-time viewer here, be sure to check that out. Subscribe to the channel, bell icon, all that good stuff. Alright, let's get into it though. Picking up Germa 66's Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 13, Germa Escapes. Now, Germa is clean AF here right now. They are uninjured, uninterested. They're just about to, get their shit and get out of Dodge. I feel like the next chapter, it's going to be them walking face first into Cracker. I feel like Brûlé is going to be transporting Cracker there, and we're about to see all four Vinsmokes go up against the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Hide Behind Your Biscuits. In which case, I'm not gonna lie, as much of a Cracker stan as I am, and as impressive as Cracker is, 4 people jumping him, when you've got 3 people out of the 4 that could arguably use attacks that bypass the biscuits themselves. Like electricity may go through the biscuit, Ichiji's light beams may go through the biscuit, Reiju's poison may seep into the biscuit, and thus into the biscuit. So if Cracker gets his ass up and out of bed and makes his way over to these guys, I got a sad feeling that he's going to show a slight bit of force and then get absolutely dominated on technicalities and matchups. But we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? Maybe my boy Katakuri gonna slip on out of nowhere, and maybe Germa 66's Cold-Blooded Voyage will be about them getting their asses kicked. But I highly doubt that. Alright, so let's get into it. Wait, there's no need to flee. What? Mysterious figures in the flower capital. It seems that the dragon really wasn't Kaido. Really? So there are 2 dragons? Yeah, and we get a beautiful shot of Inlet, the flower capital, and we get I think this is the first time in a minute that we've actually gotten to see scale of how big the capital is. But I know we saw it earlier on in the arc, but getting to see it, like, how big the buildings are and stuff like that. Like, you got to remember how tall Kinemon and the boys are. So all these buildings are made for them to be able to still come inside regardless of their height, which is ridiculous, man. They grow big on Wano, apparently. Something is happening in front of the castle. How can Komurasaki be here? Plus Kiyoshiro, what in the world is going on? Yo, if they have a moment of like, oh my god, it's the dead of the past. Although they'd be like, why is Kiyoshiro here? Like, what? You two sure have made a name for yourselves. Now I wonder whether the rest of us will still be recognizable to them. Yo, look at the smile on Denjiro here. My boy Kirishiro got that crescent moon grin. Look at that. Considering his face was made in hatred and malice, I actually love to see the boy Cracker smile. Yo, I love the pose! My boy Kinemon out here flexing his bicep. Like, Kinemon But how? I thought he burned with the Odin castle that day. But he's in front of our eyes. Is this a dream? Have we passed on to the next life? But I don't remember us dying. It doesn't matter if this is reality or fantasy. Either way, I think we're about to see something monumental. Quick, fetch a light scroll snail. We have to get the word out to the rest of Wano. Yeah, and their citizens are already crying. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. On the panel to the right of Kawamatsu, we see the man, the myth, the guy with the trillion berry bounty. Alright? Panda D Man, the mink. So, there's our Panda Man reference to this chapter. Big smiles. I love to see Panda Man. Hurry, yo. I love how Nekamamushi's carrying up, how am I forgetting her name? Kiku. Oh, and Raizo's there, bandaged up, but still got that stern look on him. No doubt about it. It's the Red Scabbards. They've been assumed dead for 20 years. Toki-sama's prophecy came true. Yo! This is actually kind of beautiful. We cut to all the different regions around Wano with all the people. Seems something is happening in the capital. Ooh, wait. Is that, in Ringo, I see a fox there. Is that our guy, how am I forgetting his name? Benki. No. Is it Benki? The Shimotsuki fox. I'm pretty sure that's him there, with the mythical human fruit. So I'm pretty sure that's him watching on. We got Hakamai. Is this about the earthquake? In Kibi? I thought the village would shake apart. Yeah, those two kids there look like they're monks. They got the shaved head sort of look. Kuri. Head to Bakura Town. They're broadcasting something from the capital. Ooh, so they're all charging in. This isn't the time to just stand around and watch. Udon. Ibitsu Town. Yo! Our friendly little Ibitsu Town. What's all the fuss about? It's a light scroll snail transmission from the flower capital. What do you mean? Your Kaido's... Oh! Oh! Okay, here we go. Yamato meeting the rest of the crew. What do you mean you're Kaido's son? Yo, Frankie's got hands up. He's just like, yo, I'm clean. Alright? Shogun Frankie got damaged, not me. I'm ready to throw hands. I still got missiles. So this war isn't over yet? Hold on, I'm not your enemy. In fact, I've been following your exploits in the news for ages. By the way, I knew your crew was made up of a lot of weird-looking... in fact, I've been following your exploits in the news for ages. By the way, I knew your crew was made up of a lot of weird-looking people, but meeting you all in the flesh is still quite a shock. You want to talk with those horns? Yes, Sanji's straight on it. Kaido's. Anyway, I'll be sailing with you from now on. I go by Kozuki Odin. But you... Yo, I just... this will actually be a funny gag going in the future, because I just reread the Reverie sort of chapters and the intermission chapters, just like, because I knew one sort of feels like it's coming to a close, and I'm like trying to refresh myself on what's going to happen on the outside the world, right? The way Sengoku and Akainu talk about Odin, if the Straw Hats set out to sea and Yamato starts introducing herself as Odin to people, and that news travels back to Akainu and Sengoku, they're gonna lose their collective shit. Like, what? Wait, no. What? How? Why? What? Anyway, I'll be sailing with you from now on. I go by Kazuki. Yo, she's part of the crew then. Or maybe we've got to wait for Luffy to say that, but you can call me Yamato. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Huh? You're joining our crew? Yo, I approve. Not as much as me, Swan. Wait. You got Nami-san, Robin Chua, Nami Swan, Robin Chuan. What's Yamato gonna be? Sir? Ah, how amusing. I love how nonchalant Robin is with everything. And I also love how, like, you've got everyone else's, like, phased reactions. And Otama's just there, just like, what's happening? Yamato has some ace level rudeness. She just joins the crew. Yeah, dude, I'm by myself here. We'll need to get confirmation from the captain before I'll be convinced. Fair enough. Yeah, Yamato just straight up. Fair enough. So is Luffy going to be okay? His battle was so intense. And that form of his. Huh? Ooh, okay. So she's noticed beast pirates run away. Hey, who said you could run off? Huh? Young master, please, we don't want to be servants like the others. Well, this one doesn't seem like an enemy at any rate. Quit whining and stay... that reminds me, what's going to happen to these guys? My jutsu always wears off when the moon's shape comes back around. Oh, okay, so it only lasts a month. Well, that... I mean, shit, that answers a lot of our questions, because, like, I know for a while here, it's like, it seemed contradictory for Luffy to be the drums of liberation, you know, the liberator of people, all about freedom, and have someone on his side that robs people of freedom. But that's good to know that it's limited lasting effects. That definitely does put some perspective on it. The animals usually go back to normal afterwards, but some stay tamed. I'm sure they get to choose what they like best. Ooh, okay. Master, I want to stay by your side. I'm happy like this. That makes me so glad, Horsela-chan. I'd love it if you stayed with me, but not as my servant. I'd rather think... Damn, man. Oda, you... I'd rather think of you as a mother. Yo, and the bright smile on Otama's face as she's grinning at you, like, I got a mom! Horsalina, just so bright. Oh, the cuteness it burns. Kawaii. Kia. Look, Murasaki and Kim. And everyone else. They're kneeling? Who? Oh! Oh! Okay, who is that? It has been 20 long years since my... I can feel it. It has been 20 long years since my father died. Yeah, we've got the retainers here. Father? Don't tell me. You have all done exceptionally well to have survived this protracted winter. I just got tunes in my head, you know, like, we are men. The freedoms of the Fire Festival shall not end tonight. Starting tomorrow, all of you will be able to live as you wish. Yeah, and you can see everyone's shook to the core. What? But Orochi will... You may drink as much as you please. Yeah, I love... what's his name? It's not Momotaro, it's... the carpenter. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. You will no longer be charged for clean water. Oh, please. Is that... No, that's not a Tsuru. That's another woman. Please, 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 for the sake of Kinemon. We need to find out what happened with Hold'em. And we need to find out what happened with Tsuru. Because if Tsuru got killed for this plan to work, that's just not on. That's just not fair for Kin. The toxic factories that have ravaged our land will be abolished. Slavery will cease to exist in Wano from this day forward. Momo-kun? Four more factory workers died today. It may be our turn to go tomorrow. Who should tell Otama? She has to know. Otama-chan, this will be difficult to hear, but your father and mother are... Daddy, Mummy. Please rest easy. I'm gonna be okay. Yo, does that mean Komeino's been with Otama her entire life? Because is it just me or is that him as a pup? Oh, the next panel. I love that dumb, blank, brain dead expression on that thing's face. That is cute as... You know Robin out here just like, quiet. Hats for sale. Get your hats here. Does anybody need a hat woven? Oh, a hand woven hat? Sorry, no money to spare. The worst part is... The worst part is that technique, that style there, made it from Otama to Ace to Little Oars Jr. The trickle down of emotions. Woven hats for sale. Sorry, Komichio. No one bought any today. Oh. One hat, please. Wow, you're a Tengu? You're an orphan, I take it. Please do not give in. It will only be a few more years. Nah. Nope, 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 nope. You cannot say you're an orphan, I take it. Please do not give in. It'll only be a few more years. You do not say it'll only be a few more years unless you know it. If you know it, you got to be believing in the prophecy. And there have been too many setups for Tengu Yama Hitetsu to be an alias and for him to really be Odin's father, right? And if that is Odin's dad, right, you should have stepped up in some capacity more than what you're doing right now, honestly. The way that's being set up, though, I'm waiting for that reveal. I'm just honestly waiting for it. Soon the Kozuki clan's mighty warriors will make their return. When that day comes, we'll finally be rid of those demonic Oni. They will no longer poison this land. Kozuki? Is that really true? Then I'll keep going. I'll be okay. Oh, I'm just crying. Otama? Tama. Don't celebrate like this. Oh, don't celebrate like this is special, Tama. By the time we leave this country, it'll be a place where you can eat as much as you want every single day. Despite everything that's set up, we need a feast. Like a big, mean, greasy, dirty, drunk feast. Like, I need to see Jinbei, right? Jinbei in his loincloth up on a table with Chopper, right? With the chopsticks in his nose and in his mouth, just doing some weird shit, right? Or maybe Jinbei and Kawamatsu doing some fishman karate on some sake, just to serve everyone at once. You know, I need a filthy, mean, rotten party after this arc, right? Because if we just cut away, it's gonna feel so unearned in a weird way. It's just gonna be hurtful. Orochi's tyrannical regime and the menace of Kaido are gone for good. I met powerful and passionate friends on my voyage, and together our ninja, pirate, mink, samurai alliance raided Onigashima. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps on this. Kaido, Orochi, and the Beast Pirates, the monsters that have kept you living in fear, have all been vanquished. What? Is he serious? They were beaten? That awful Orochi is gone? Yeah, Kid just straight out like, who the are you? Who the are you? Our alliance? Yeah, and everyone's just cheering on. Babies are being thrown in the air. Law just straight out dripped in polar bear. My guy's like planted his ass firmly down and is just chilling right now. We will never forget the heroes who paved the way. to make this possible. Ugh, Carrot. I see the close up, but the way this chapter's treating you, you're nothing but a alliance member. I'm sorry. By the feels of this, it doesn't feel like you're gonna be a straw hat. To all those Carrot stands out there, moment of silence. Yo, no Otoko actually will get to see a proper Wano for once. Psst, Kinemon. Now what? I'm not... Oh, yo, that surely that's Momo. Psst, Kinemon. Now what? I'm not sure what to say next. As I say, fake it till you make it. My boy Kinemon out here, right, giving away his secrets. Like it's the bloody Death Star battle plans. Like Kinemon is the fake it till you make it man. Right? My guy does not have... Kinemon does not have more than a single brain cell between his ears that isn't just meant for just for swinging his sword around. He's the definition of fake it till you make it. Be damn if he didn't make it. And I love how, like, as a surrogate father to Momo, his only advice is just luck out. You know, just keep doing what you're doing until you luck out. What are you, Momo? Ooh, is that Momo? Ooh, the Chad's got a chin. What are you, Momo? Just a figurehead? Does anything in the world still seem scary to you? Yo, please give me a rundown like the man that bit Kaido. My name was given to me by my father. It means second to none. I swear to live up to that by restoring this country's barren lands to the paradise they once were. Ooh, he's kind of looking like Luffy there. A little bit. Just a little bit. He's kind of looking like Luffy. Kinemon, man, like, but did you die? Yeah, Kinemon just like, but did you die? Just, just do whatever you're doing. Just be you, bro. But I'll need you to lend me your strength. I have transcended the last 20 years to save this island. From this moment on, Oda, give me some goddamn mad spreads. I don't know if it'll be this chapter, but Oda has been banking on drawing the last pages of Wano for a minute. So he's got something ridiculous up his sleeve when this arc ends. Oh! Oh! Wano will be led by me, Kozuki Momonosuke. Oh! That... Ooh! He got his daddy's sword! Yo, Momo's actually got some, like, main character sort of vibes to him here. I love this. Where'd he get the whatchamacallit? The fit? It sort of looks like a mix between Kinemon's fit and Izo's fit. Yeah, he looks good though. I love the cherry blossoms and that. Like spring is coming back to the island and winter's over. He kind of got that Chad energy. I can see some chest. And he's a One Piece character. He's got the thick neck too. Part of the thick neck gang. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you got the Scabbards crying. And Hiyori. Mother, I will keep my promise. Father. Yo! Momo kind of looking like a Chad. I ain't gonna lie. I love this close-up of his face. It's actually hypnotic. It's not quite like his dad. Like, his dad was definitely a lot more goofy. But yeah, Momo got some drip. Please, 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 by the end of the series, if that sword is anything like Enma, Zoro, give this man some classes, please. I would love to see Momo turning into like a dragon, quick drawing, like, you know, hybrid dragon form, quick drawing his sword, cutting someone and turning back human. Like, could you imagine the dragon sword style? That would be some beautiful stuff. I will continue along the path you started. Momonosuke-sama. Yo, everyone's looking clean. He looks a little bit more like his dad there in that panel. The true Shogun, my deepest apologies for the delay, has returned. Momonosuke. Sakura petals dance in a future sky, where warriors can finally rest their blades. A man 8 years of age surveys their progress as they drift in the night air of the renowned land of samurai. He may lack physical strength. Oh, and look at Hiyori. And yo, actually, Momo's smiling. Yo, this actually does look sick. He may lack physical strength, but he compensates with his devotion to duty and boundless compassion. This man will one day be known far and wide as one of Wano's greatest leaders. We have just borne witness to the birth of the great shogun Kozuki Momonosuke. Our young hero stands tall. Yo, and the whole of Wano is celebrating. Damn, that's cool. It feels like an odd end to the chapter, though. Naomi being like, don't mind if you want to hug again. Oh, to Tama. Sharing the love, you know? Definitely sharing the love. Alright, I'll see if anyone's available for the discussion then. Yo, I love this though. This looks fantastic. Like, obviously there's still a bit to go, but this actually looks fantastic. And Momo's an adult. I rock with the vibe. 100%. But actually, shit, Usher and Doji ain't here. Man might actually be dead. Same with Ito. 2 scabbards down. Damn. Oda the Mad Lad actually did it. He followed through with. Oh, I mean, the arc's not over yet, but they didn't see him become a shogun. So I mean, crap, they may actually be dead. Yo, think about that. Oh, hello. All right, you ready for going live, my guy? All right, say hello. Hello. Yo, what a beautiful chapter.
Yeah. Feels like a very One Piece chapter.
Yeah. I'm caught up though. Like Momo looks freaking good.
Yeah. Did well.
I'm not gonna lie though, I'm a little bit like thrown into it in a sense where it's like this is a really good like the battle's over and like the arc's about to wrap up sort of thing like within 5 chapters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like this feels like this genuinely feels like a couple of chapters after Crocodile got beaten, where it's like the citizens are celebrating and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But Wano's borders didn't open. And it feels like the potential destruction of the landscape isn't gonna progress anymore. With the way they're talking about like bringing back Wano's natural beauty and that.
I get you.
So it, like I'm sort of torn because I'm like, part of me is like, oh yeah, this is wonderful, and like I really feel like Wano needs to bring back that sort of luscious nature because it's symbolically it would be really good. The other part of me is sort of like ramifications that was potentially set up just feel like they're not going to pay off. Although that being said, I mean, if this is it and the dust is settled, we got a few deaths this arc.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, this. Yeah. My biggest thing is it felt very One Piece,
yeah,
which is good, nice, refreshing.
like, and I know we've talked about this for a while. Like, the fights are always cool and badass, and I always love to see fighting and power scaling and stuff like that. But like, the best moments in One Piece aren't really fighting. It's more so like the emotional payoffs. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it feels good to sort of go back to storytelling as opposed to build up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
But yeah, Ashura Doji and Izo are dead
Yep.
because and I hold a little bit of reservation that maybe they come back, but I don't think they will because it's like if anyone was going to come back, I feel like it would have been for Momo's you know inauguration sort of thing, his
Right.
procession.
Yeah, yeah.
So two of the nine scabbards are dead, and like if you actually count it here, you've got Hiyori takes the role of one, and Shinobu takes the role of one. So there's still nine at the end of this,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of cool, in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's cool.
I mean, crap. Is this? I mean, it feels like we're just about to start going on to the rest of the world. Maybe next chapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think next chapter we'll see the world government's perspective.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Yeah, I actually think this might even be a decent point to just go like not even just outside of Wano, but we could actually go around the world a little bit. Not for like a full blown
I
arc, but for a chapter or two.
I actually thought of something earlier today that I've thought of in the past, but I always forget about by the time we get on discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know how Oda really has been setting up like the end of One Piece and giving timelines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I actually wondered if the 5 act structure,
Yeah.
if that's actually playing into that 5 act structure will encompass the last saga of the story, not just Wano.
Right.
So like it started in Wano, started setting up in Wano. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then so like obviously it could just be a normal 3 act play, which is perfectly fine. And at this point in time, it probably just is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if Act 3 ends, Act 4 starts, and Act 4 is actually like because you know how we always were talking about like how Act 4 is supposed to be the conflict.
Yeah.
It's the aftermath of what taking down two Yonko does to the world, while all the other world powers are fighting. And so what's regarded as the conflict is actually the final war. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by the conflict?
So like you know how in like a 5 act play, it's like
Yeah.
Act One's introduction, 2 and 3 sort of build up, Act 4 conflict, Act 5 resolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean like you know in the 3 act play, it's sort of like Act One's introduction, Act Two's setup, Act Three's conflict resolution. You know what I mean? So it's like I wonder if Wano ends here, right? So say in the next couple of chapters it goes Act 3 end, and then as we go to see around the world, Act 4 is actually going to encompass the next couple of arcs of us going to One Piece and like the war, the world falling into war, if that makes sense.
I get you. I get you.
because that might just be a long con payoff by Oda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because it
yeah. That
like
would be cool.
as much as I'd love to go see Elbath and stuff like that, I I can see at this stage, like it almost makes like sense to me that Oda would finish this like almost finish the series on an arc about his home country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like it was building up to this finale to like spark off the consecutive dominoes that end the series.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's hard to tell because like with the way this ends, it's like it's very happy, but it feels like there's still like a lot we could do here, and then there's still a lot of setup of what we could do everywhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't know. Like
yeah, yeah.
I always get like tossed up on it, where it's like those comments about One Piece ending within 5 years, 2 years ago. I'm like, I don't take that as like a hard cemented number, but it's sort of like at the same point in time, it's like I don't know if Oda's gonna just start skipping stuff or glossing over stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Because it's yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain my thoughts on it, but yeah, this was
I think we've all kind of thought that way for a while now as well. As like, like, oh, the season's meant to wrap up. The series is meant to wrap up pretty soon, but is it though? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's hard because like I've been open about my criticisms of potential storylines being dropped this arc, right?
Hmm.
But it's like Oda's best writing is like I'd probably attribute to his world building in that he does great setup and intrigue and mystery.
Yeah, yeah.
He does really good payoffs, but not every payoff is a great payoff.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
I wonder if he's like caught in a trap where he's just like his writing style, like when he's complacent, falls into setting up and not paying off.
Hmm.
Like because with this arc ending here, right? Like even this chapter, you get the stuff with Tenguyama, right?
Yeah.
Does it not feel weird that he's like, you're an orphan, I take it? Please do not give in. It will only be a few more years until the Kozuki clan shows up. Like, there was no setup of him in the Odin flashback or anything like that for him to actually stand the Kozuki bloodline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we still lack. Like, he exists in Otama's flashback and her flashbacks alone. There's no outside of potentially just being a citizen of Wano, there's no reason for him to ally or to trust in the Kozuki the way he does in this chapter and the way he talks about it. And I know, like, from the anime perspective, the voice actor of Tenguyama is the same voice actor as Odin's dad.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm still sort of here, like, is there more little payoffs like that? Are we going to focus on that sort of stuff? Like, while the arc's wrapping up, like, is he going to be like an advisor to Momo as his granddad or something? Or like there's just there's a few bits of mystery left. Like, what about Tsuru, Kinemon's wife? Last time we saw her, it was implied that Holden was going to kill her, and we never saw anything of it. So, like, is she alive? Is she dead? Does Kinemon heard that the village burned down, but does he know whether she's alive or dead? You know what I mean? If there's a lot of like,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
and like maybe we just gloss past it completely and pick it up in a cover story, but that kind of feels a bit
It's always hard because it's like this arc was a whole island with a whole like culture and everything, and at the same time, it was like it was also a massive climax for the Straw Hats,
mm,
where like this would be a big arc even if there it wasn't a completely new island. You know what I mean? Like if
yeah.
they just went back to like Alabaster and they didn't really have to cover much, it would still be a big arc just with what's happened during this arc. So fitting into it'd be hard for Oda, like how much of Wano stuff do you fit in? because
Mm,
I remember like when Wano was kind of first kicking off, it was such like a hype arc going into it that a lot of like the little details of like Wano's culture and stuff I just didn't concentrate on as much as I should have.
yeah,
Like the like the little teapot dog that ate the fruit,
yeah.
things like that. Like I just completely glossed over and just didn't think about.
I
It's
don't know.
just such a big. So that'd be the really big challenge with writing this arc is just like figuring out okay, how much do we do, how much do we do this, how much do we do this.
The thing is, it felt like even though some stuff got glossed over, it felt like he was juggling it well. Good to see you in the chat, Ged.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like he was juggling it well, but now it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of like at the point where conflict's over,
Yep.
but I don't see us spending a volume or two paying off these
Continuing to just
plots.
talk about Wano, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Unless we start getting invaded and like all of a sudden there's a whole new conflict which will feel a little dragged on.
Mm-hmm.
It really sort of, especially with the way this chapter ends, where it's like, Momo will become to known as one of Wano's greatest leaders and stuff like that, and he's gonna bring
Yeah.
the greenery back to the land and stuff like that. It's like, okay, so Wano feels untouchable from the rest of the story because
Yeah, right.
it's got to come back to prosperity, right? So it's like, I don't see Kaido and Big Mom getting up. I don't see the volcano erupting any more than it already has potentially. If the world government try to invade, they're obviously not making it onto the solid ground to do any significant damage. This may just be Luffy takes out, like, when Luffy wakes up, this may just be treated like Pirate Island Full Lead, where it's like the Pirate Island for a little bit with like Law, Kid, Apu, like all those people healing up for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like they all depart together in like a week or two or something. Who knows? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit weird. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's definitely all kind of a bit up in the air.
Because it's
But I
like,
mean, I guess, we've never been led astray so far, so.
yeah, yeah, but like that's the thing where it's like if you just sit back and you're like, I have trust in Oda, which I do. I mean, I wouldn't come back and read if I didn't. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it's like at the same time, it's just like he could fumble it, hoping he doesn't.
Yeah.
Um,
The biggest thing that worries me is anime like shonen, especially writers, their tendency to write in like crazy endings. Like this person was like an alien the whole time,
yeah,
and he's also like a god, and he has like every devil fruit that exists and all the hakis, and he can turn into 1,000 people and fight you like. And then like the main character gets like an ultra power up as well, and that's what kind of like irked me about the ending of Naruto is because at the end of that series, it kind of felt like Naruto could just like single-handedly kill everyone in the entire world. He was so much stronger than everyone
yeah.
that it was just a bit ridiculous out there. And like, even now it's like even me imagining peak Gold Roger, I'm like, sure, but at best he could maybe take two Yonkos if he's like a bit stronger than I think he is.
Oof.
He's not just gonna solo all the Yonko himself. You know what I mean? Like he's never gonna like
He
just
could
solo the whole world.
he could take to Yonko in the same way, and I gotta think of the right way to word this. You know what I mean?
I know this, ready? In the same way Marco can take king and queen. Kinda.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say in the same way that Dofi can take Croc and Jozu, where it's like off guard,
yeah.
he gets in a few good hits, but nothing really plays out from it. You
Yeah.
know what I
I
mean?
get you.
But
Yeah.
I've just got to say, Momo looks fantastic. Love the design. He's got his dad's sword on par with Enma. Like,
I like how they said like he's not an
strong.
amazing fighter. He doesn't have his own strength, but he's like he's going to be one of the greatest leaders that Wano sees, which
Mm,
is really cool to me. Because that's the thing is like the whole like Shogun thing. Like I'm the strongest on the island, and therefore I'm the leader, and I just so happen to also be really good at leading. It's like, how often does that happen?
I get ya. Really? I've got to. At this point in time, I mean, obviously, and Ged, I've got to give it to you. You're right. The arc is wrapping up. or at least it's being designed to wrap up. I can't help but linger and start thinking now about what's going to happen around the rest of the world and thinking back about the other stuff like the warlords and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because that stuff happened a week after the Reverie ended, and the Reverie started a week before this.
Yeah, right.
Or two, no. Reverie started, and then 4 days in, the Revs clashed, and then we're now a week and a half later. So,
Yeah. Okay.
so it was Reverie started, 4 days in, the Revs clash with the Admirals. 3 days later, the Warlords are abolished. A week later, this.
Yep.
So it's gonna be and like when I say this, I mean like where we are today. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I feel like there's gonna be some explosive information coming really soon. But low key, the information might already be here.
No
Because
break next week, right?
no. But we didn't really think about this because we're caught up in the war. Marco could already have all that information
What information?
about what's happening around the world.
Potentially. Although what I'd say is what's happening right now is very different.
Well,
I mean, like what's happening since Luffy beat Kaido, everything is like,
yeah.
so everything kind of changed with the Reverie, but now Luffy's beat Kaido and everything's kind of going to change again.
Well, I think there's going to be more than just Luffy beat Kaido and Big Mom. I think someone else. I think some other big players have gone down at the same time.
Right.
I just don't know who. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because I feel like nothing's gonna top beating two Yonko, but something else is gonna happen that's just as interesting. You know what I mean?
I get you.
And it's hard because it's like at this point in time, Marco only came a few hours ago. Realistically, you know what I mean? So like Marco could have as much of the fresh intel as possible outside of Kaido and Big Mom having gone down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would be really interesting is like once this is over, like a few good seconds, and then Marco's like, "Oi, I got to talk to you about some stuff." Luffy like interrupts him and he's like, "Oh, I've actually got to tell you. Ace told me to tell you guys that he loves you." And Marco's going to be like, "Well, thanks, but put a pause in that because shit's going down." You know what I mean?
Yeah, the other thing as well is like um the what was I going to say? I've just lost it. Oh yeah, Luffy still doesn't know that he has a zone.
No,
He
good,
just like still doesn't know that.
good.
That's yeah. I feel like people are kind of missing that. I guess. Or I don't know. Not
Hey,
mentioning it as much.
Yamato joins the crew seemingly as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm still curious whether it's just going to be straight up joining or if it's going to be as like a division commander kind of deal.
nah, I reckon she's straight up joining, and I've got to ask this question to you.
Okay, so my question is, if she's straight up joining, what's happening with Beast Pirates?
I think Otama explained that best, right? You'll have some fodder that were like the waiters or the pleasurers that just run, become no names, go find some island somewhere and retire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of the gifters are going to end up wanting to side with Karma after they've eaten the dungos and stuff like that. And once Wano actually starts becoming a paradise, it's going to be no different to how it was for them prior, outside of the fact that they don't get their ass kicked randomly by Kaido on a bad day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
I've got to ask you this, and this is sort of a baited question. So Yamato and Jinbei join the crew. Where does
Yeah.
where does Yamato rank at the moment in the Straw Hats as a
We know
combatant?
where it is. We know where it is. She is probably
second, but like during the next fight, Sanji will accomplish more than she does. So third,
Okay,
if you get what I mean.
I I'll say this, right? Sanji low diff queen when it came to it. After and
Yeah.
like mind you, he also got rid of the raid suit that would have given him a double buff.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's like to me, the thing with Sanji is he's definitively the number 3 on the crew at all times, but Oda loves to tease by introducing people that are like, "Oh, could Sanji even beat them?" And
It was
immediately,
the same with Jinbei, right?
and
It was
immediately,
the
yeah.
exact same.
Well, it was the same with Frankie.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like Oda introduces someone, they seem way stronger than Sanji, and then with no training or anything, Sanji just proves the next arc. Oh no, I'm over them. So I feel like that's going to be the same thing here. Um, but I got to ask you then: do you feel like Yamato's definitively over Jinbei?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think like definite like a lot over, but I'm sure that she is over. I don't
interesting.
think she's way stronger than him, but I think she's definitely stronger than him.
Because I off stream with Glitter, I was going down this rabbit hole of a conversation just because like I don't know where to put them because they've got very similar betrayal. You know what I mean? Like they're both tied with Ace. They've both held off a Yonko 1-on-1. I would say the only slight bit of difference is Yamato hit an off guard. Uh, what's her name? Ulti
Yep.
with arguably one of her top 3 strongest attacks to the back of the head. Ulti got up. Jinbei did the same thing to Who's Who, and he is lights out for the kitty cat. But other than that, their portrayal in the story, not their movesets, right? They don't have equal movesets. Like, you know, Yamato obviously has advanced conquerors and that, but their portrayal has been damn well identical.
Yeah, I would say though, Yamato and Jinbei are basically just like the new Zoro or Sanji.
Yeah?
Like, you know, the tier below, which to be fair is kind of the same tier. It's
Yeah.
more that Sanji and Zoro have moved up.
It's the same tier, less expectations.
Yeah, because I feel like saying they're a tier below is
Like,
catching
look,
them.
I love Frankie, but you got no shot, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Frankie's cool. I think
Dude,
he's got potential, man.
Frankie's clean. The only thing that got damaged this arc was Shogun Frankie.
That's the thing. I think he's like a like necessarily like a solid combatant.
Right, Frankie, if like, and I know we were talking about this recently, alright? If I had to give Frankie, like, a genuine bounty based on threat, right? I would have been, like, from the time skip, I would have been giving him 500 mil.
Yeah.
Like, look, like,
Doesn't complain.
straight up, he low diffed Buffalo and Baby 5, then proceeded to nerf himself completely and box Senor Pink into the ground, right?
Mhm.
He low diffed the dudes on Fishman Island. I mean, realistically, he took out Sasaki like no problem. And Sasaki's got like a 470 mil bounty? 472?
I mean, here's the thing. He blocked, well, not blocked, but he tanked a hit from Big Mom using his haki, and then that same haki got cut through by one of Sasaki's attacks. Like Sasaki is
Wait,
good
he tanked a hit from Big Mom?
on Whole Cake when he got like punched and he like hakied up his arms
Oh,
and he got
Jinbei,
like pushed
Jinbei,
back.
Jinbei. Yeah.
Jinbei, yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
I was talking about Frankie. Yeah, Jinbei. Well, I mean, Jinbei's got some decent haki. Like, I would just say, right? Jinbei's biggest feat is the same attack that killed Ace, Jinbei just ate.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Jinbei wasn't super clean after, but like Akainu put a hole through Jinbei's body, waving at Luffy on the other side, scarring Luffy, and Jinbei just turned around and growled at him like, "Get up, bitch." So like, while I say Yamato probably has a more like his Fishman Karate is impressive, but like even even if it might do more DC, I feel like you can't emulate Advanced Conquerors. You know what I mean? Like pen to paper, Advanced Conquerors is more impressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's got the higher seeming ceiling, but it's like other than that, it's like Jinbei might like He's got ridiculous durability, ridiculous tankability. He can bypass your defense with his punches. Like, we got some pretty BS additions to the crew. Do you think we're going to get any more? Because I'd preface this, if we're getting any more, it's on this island right now. That's what I feel.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, so the only reason I paused for a second is because I'm thinking, would they pull one from like Elbath? And I'm like, no, if they do that, it's going to be like an allied thing.
Yeah.
It won't be. Yeah.
Because
I don't think they can. I think they might bring like new allies or something, but I still don't even know about Elbath, man. Like I know it's been hinted at so hardcore, but there needs to be a reason for us to go there, right?
ooh, okay, so I really want to see Elbath. I feel like there's a lot of good stories set up in Elbath. I don't want it to happen like this, but I could see Oda montaging us into Elbath, or Elbath being a really quick gloss over.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not happy to say, like, realistically at this point in time, right? I wish we had like another 10 years of One Piece. As daunting as that may be, like, I'm just like, oh, dude, I want to explore more islands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, but like, stakes are raised, tensions high, players are making moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of, Luffy and Zoro are KBFO'd.
Yeah, they are gone.
Like,
skis.
the two strongest Straw Hats are out. Like, lights out. But, that being said, the next three Straw Hats, the next three strongest, or next four strongest, are all, like, 100% right now.
And that's the thing. I mean, I think here's the thing. From what we've been seen by what we've been shown by CP0, like I think they're tough opponents, but tough opponents that Straw Hats can handle. Like they don't need Luffy. They don't need
Well,
Zoro.
okay, yes, I agree. But, that being said, it's like, see, like, I feel like CP0, like, demonstrated the best this arc that like, for lack of a better word, they just trade for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go out taking you with me. Bye. They're just to get pieces off the board in a cool way.
Yeah.
And speaking of pieces off the board, I feel like Otama talking about how Horsalina is gonna, like, how Speed's gonna be her mum. She's not joining the crew, despite her promises with Ace.
Yeah, I never really thought that she was going to join.
I could see her joining as an apprentice because of the promise. But, like, the setup at the end of this is she's going to get to live her childhood. And considering Momonosuke's stripped of his by the end of this,
yeah,
I feel like they're not going to double up on that sacrifice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd agree.
I could, this may be dark, I could see Shinobu aging Otama up for, like, on Otama's request because she wants to be with Momonosuke. Because emotionally they're both 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Like, if they were to, get wedded one day, but yeah, I don't know. That's just sort of beside the point. Other than that, it's like, I feel like Luffy came in, did what Ace couldn't, took out Kaido, put a smile and a meal in front of her.
Yeah.
But, man, it's crazy. Bounties are going to skyrocket.
They sure are, yeah.
Like, dude. I asked this question in our private chat the other week. So, at the end of Dressrosa, everyone involved got a 50 mil minimum increase. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think the minimum increase will be for everyone because of taking out 2 Yonko?
And Awakening with a fruit that the world government really doesn't like.
Oh, no. I'm not even just talking about Luffy, right? I'm talking about, like, the Straw Hat Fleet allies. Everyone is going to get a bare minimum bounty increase across the board, and then individuals are gonna get like a few extra props for like high tier shit they did.
I think like the Grand Fleet members, I think they will get a bounty increase, but I don't think they'll say it's because of Straw Hats. I think it'll be like
Their
see,
own
I think it'll be a
exploits
mix.
and this.
Yeah, I think it'll be a mixture. I think it'll be like, oh, and by the way, also there are a bunch of other captains that work under the Straw Hats. We need to update their bounties as well. They've accomplished this and this and this. So it's going to be sort of like alongside, the reason that they're being more paid attention to is because they're under Luffy, but they are still getting the increases because of their bounties.
Mm. I reckon across the board. Ooh, I believe the Straw Hats have 500 mil each. Ooh, that's a big prediction, Ged. I was gonna say I feel like every single associated major contributor will get a minimum of 100 mil increase, with the exception of Chopper and Beppo, maybe.
Okay.
I reckon, like you got to think 100 mil is a big jump for some of these people.
Yeah.
Like that puts Usopp at like 300 mil.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Nami.
Although I think Usopp could be at 300 mil because of the meme.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like that puts Usopp like he's 200 mil at the moment.
Yeah.
And like Nami's only 66 mil, but I could see her like jumping to 166 mil. And like if you compare her to other people in that range, she like shits on them. Like Olympus was like 150 mil. And
Yeah, right.
he just bowls people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nami with her fear doesn't matter. She's got Zeus. Zeus is a weapon. Which is crazy. It'll the next 4 chapters, I reckon are gonna break the internet. Next chapter, do you know what? Next chapter we've died this down. I reckon next chapter, right? We'll relax and look at Luffy and Co recovering. And it may even end with Act 3 end. And that's like the end of Wano. You know what I mean? And like the poneglyph stuff may be dealt with like as if it was outside of the acts. If it goes like if Act 3 is the end of it in that sense, you know what I mean? Like I don't. Oh, but then again, the first opening of Wano was Act 1 opening, wasn't it?
True. Yeah.
Because I feel like they've got to establish people healing, people getting ready to celebrate, and it'll end with a cliffhanger of something or someone being introduced from outside the world. You know what I mean? And then
I get that.
And then the next 2 chapters, so 153, 154, big news after big news. All right, I'm talking big news. Morgan flying past Marine HQ, taking a shit on Akainu's desk. Right? Like some big, steaming hot stories. You know what I'm saying? And then I'd say 155 or out 156 new bounties. Maybe? Who knows?
I think it's even possible we get new bounties like during.
I mean, maybe. Like I said, look, 156 being Gomu, I reckon that's going to be the bounty reveal, surely. And
Yeah, that's fair.
the bounty reveal at this point in time, I feel like it's going to be the last bounties for Luffy in the story, but not the Straw Hats.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Like, this will be them, like, you know how, like, before this, it was like, oh, the 5th Emperor emerges?
Mm-hmm.
This will be like, the lead contender for Pirate King emerges. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be, like, no one has taken down a Yonko, let alone 2 Yonkos. And Luffy's going to get so much credit for that. Like, it doesn't matter if Kid and Law run out around to every news outlet being like, we did all the damage. Like, no, it's going to the leader. And especially coming off the back of Whole Cake Island.
Yeah. Like the thing, the world gov know
Yeah.
that they know he awakened. They saw him fighting. Yeah, he's gonna get his credit.
And as Ged was saying in the chat, they need to surpass the Topi Robo. So if Usopp, the weakest on the crew, bounty-wise outside of Chopper, gets 100 mil increase, that puts him at 300 mil, 10 mil over page 1.
Hmm.
I could see all the other Straw Hats getting a much bigger increase, though. Except for maybe Brook, sadly. Like, Brook didn't do much, so he'll probably get close to a stock standard bounty. But he really got, like, no love, especially no love in front of anyone really important this arc.
He did beat a Tobiroko member.
No?
Oh, sorry, you were saying Brooke. For some reason, I was thinking Frankie when you were saying
Yeah. Frankie's going to be 500 mil, surely. Or more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Brooke beat a number, but no one really saw it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like all he would get credited for is just like generic, like Straw Hat ally, main crew member doing stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true. Brooke has been, I don't know, disappointing me.
He doesn't. No, he's not disappointing because like, Brooke, Usopp, and Chopper did not get delegated major fights this arc. You know, but Yamato. I reckon Yamato's first bounty is going to be like high.
Yeah.
But and I was saying this before. You know how she's still introducing herself as Kozuki Odin?
Yeah.
We may get an Odin bounty reveal because the news might go out. Like, you know how Sanji's got the gags of, like, his wanted posters never being perfect?
Yeah.
Yamato may get the gag where because she identifies as Odin, she just inherits Odin's bounty.
Yeah. It'd be funny. Although it'd be bloody high.
Yeah, no, but that's the point of it, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Where it's like, wait, Kazuki Odin joined the crew? What the hell? We thought he was inactive, and like that, you know, you get a nice big double page spread of his like bounty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that would be funny because like the whole thing in before this arc was, or in the intermission, was like Sengoku and Akainu fighting about like, what, you mean Kazuki Odin? Oh no, you know, he's long gone. No one cares about him anymore. It's fine. And then Sengoku's like, yeah, but you know, Whitebeard, Roger, Shanks, everyone loved him. Like, he was really important. You know what I mean? Like, when that name starts coming around the world again,
Yeah.
I reckon it's gonna troll them for sure. And that'll be the funniest part because it'll, like, if they attribute actual Odin to having joined their crew, it'll be like a bounty gag like Sanji, and then it'll be good for infiltration when they get to like other islands, until she just screams, "I'm Kazuki Odin," which is like the most Odin thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big time.
Also, dude, the Vin Smokes are all together in the middle of Whole Cake Island. They are 100% about to fight Cracker, but the question is, are we going to see our boy Charles, like, you know, Mr. Slam Jam Katakuri?
Surely the Vin Smokes can take him.
Can take Cracker.
Four Vin Smokes
Dude.
together, surely.
Electricity,
Katakuri,
the light lasers, and the poison, they should be able to bypass Cracker's defense, I argue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not like a blunt force thing having to break through his Cracker. It's like an elemental advantage, like Nami's Rain.
Yeah.
The only one that wouldn't be able to do shit is Yonji, which, I mean, Yonji can't do shit anyway.
Yeah. I'm just gonna see it as like a numbers thing of just like there's just like four people running around you just ripping you apart kind of thing.
Mind you, Cracker
Sure,
can
they
make
can't
an
just run
army.
straight through it. Yeah, I know, yeah. But I see it as like there's just too much going on.
I reckon...
Here's a question.
Yep.
I know he can create the little drone thingos, and they like kind of act on their own.
Yep.
Do his actual Cracker soldiers act on their own, or does he have to like actually control them with his like mind?
Both.
I mean,
I think
like, could he sustain 4 people attacking, like, 10 or 12 crackers that he's made at the same time and still fight like at the same level?
yes.
Like, yeah, you don't think he'll just kind of be like, oh my god, there's too much going on right now?
No. I feel like the thing is though, the other biscuits aren't as potent as his. Like the one he's in, I feel like is always slightly stronger than the others.
Yeah, like the random soldiers. I think the random soldiers, you can just kind of bust through them.
But right, because it will be interesting because I reckon they've got the speed advantage here, right?
Mhm.
They may have other abilities that we haven't seen, right? But like, imagine if Cracker Cracker comes in, he starts getting jumped, he starts making this small army, they start getting jumped, and then it's like, how do their powers match up against his thing? Because you could get like Reiju. Like, say Reiju shoots her poison arrow and it starts leaking poison into the Cracker, and it's like Cracker's got to start retreating because they can bypass the defense of his Cracker that he's in, and because he can't take damage, he's like, I've got to get out of here, but I've still got to try and keep the pressure on while retreating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like,
Do that.
you got the lightning, you got the light lasers, like, like in Pacifista, which shoot through the Cracker, and Reiju's poison, which spreads like Magellan. And even arguably, we saw Luffy do it already, where you can break Cracker's crackers with his Cracker. You could just have Yonji grab one of the Cracker shields and swing it into the other Crackers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think he has a problem dealing with numbers. Because I think his observation haki is well enough and good enough to deal with that. And I feel like almost like Doflamingo, where it's just like, he does have, like, he has to be conscious to do it. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to be thinking to do it, but it doesn't require stamina for him to do.
I mean, I guess
Mentally.
I could say, like, we don't really know. Because,
I-
like, we haven't really seen him fight. All he fought was like Luffy and Nami, and he didn't even really attack Nami. And I feel like the whole point of Cracker is that, like, he's kind of one-dimensional in a sense that, like, he's super, super, super tanky, and he can make a bunch of crackers. That's his thing. I mean, if he gets hit, he's Gonski. His perception hockey, he had it, but it wasn't like incredible. Like, they didn't play it up or anything.
No, but he was keeping up with Gear 2 and Gear 4.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I think he's got enough to, like, hang in a fight. But in terms of, like, like being surrounded by 4 people and just, like, dodging all of their attacks when they, I'd assume, have it as well, or at least maybe they have, like, genetically enhanced senses or some crap instead of having haki.
What
They
I would
probably have, something that allows them to hang with people.
say though, right, is we've now seen the extent of Sanji's regen.
Mm-hmm.
Till we see all 4 start to jump Cracker, Cracker about to get beaten, Cracker come back with an army, start to beat them, break their bones and stuff like that, and then they just snap back into place, speed blitz Cracker and get out.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You know what I mean? Because Cracker would not be expecting someone that he's like snapped the legs of to just twist it back into place and keep going.
Yeah, that would be good.
Right? Okay, Sage is asking in the chat, what is happening to the other Supernova? What is going to happen? Apu is going to have that number on his crew as his, like, right-hand man going forward. That's going to be his, like, version of a Beppo, right? They're going to heal up, and then they're going to get out of dodge probably the exact same time as Luffy. And the Marine, or the World Government fleet may just get bamboozled by 4 major pirate groups all leaving in, like, 4 different directions, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, they just get, like, not so, like, and then at the same time, like, the big mum pirates also having reformed, causing interference. It sort of like what happened in Sabati Archipelago, like in the Return to Sabati arc, where it was like the Straw Hats are leaving, and then all of a sudden, like, all the mentors interfere with the Marines. But got to run through the list. So Kaido, seemingly dead. Big Mom, seemingly dead. Right? Hawkins, R.I.P.
Yep.
Right? Drake, R.I.P. Right? 2 CP0 members. Orochi, Ashura Doji, Izo. That's 9 deaths, potentially.
It's good. I mean, if there was a massive war, there was like probably thousands of fodder
But,
deaths.
but like, yeah, but like, dude, weirdly enough, like, it feels like we came out of this, like, near well 100%, like, no one died. Like, it feels like no one died, but at the same time, it's like,
There
shit,
was
nine,
a lot of deaths, yeah.
nine people died. 2 on our side, 1 impartial on our side, 2 third parties, the rest all enemies.
Yeah.
Like, that's a solid rap sheet there. And arguably, that's 2 Supernova dead.
Correct.
Like, that, damn, man. Especially since Drake being part of Sword. So, I don't know. It's going to be crazy. With the Supernova, though, at this point in time, I really just want to see Arouge and Bonnie. You know what I mean?
Rouge and Bonnie.
Yeah. They're the only ones we haven't focused on.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
That's true.
you've had a whole arc with every other Supernova.
Yeah, everyone, yeah.
Right? And I mean, Arouge was last introduced with Kaido. It's weird that Kaido never just tried to recruit him.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, maybe something's going on. I mean, I think maybe, I don't know. Okay, well, here's the question. Do you think NL's ever going to come into the story again?
Yeah.
I think if NL comes into the story again, that's when a Rouge comes in. Rather, maybe a Rouge comes in, mentions Sky Island and NL and things like that, and then like in the next arc or soon after NL comes. I think those two kind of need to be like close to each other.
I would love to have seen a showdown between Arouge and NL.
Yeah.
Especially because of the whole karma thing. So it's like NL hits him with lightning. He's like on the verge of death, and then he just comes back at full strength. Just like, say the karma makes him immune to lightning or something. Because so far we've only seen it work with like physical punishment.
Yeah, true. I mean, so far we've barely even seen it work.
Well, no, but like so far it seems like you hit me, I get the damage I take from your hit comes back twice as bad. But like we saw him get like pierced by like Kizaru's laser, but that sort of took him down. So that was like over his pain threshold. But it's like, dude, we don't know how that same ability works to elemental attacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, for all we know, it's like he gets hit with a bolt of light, and if it doesn't take him out, he can like throw a bolt of light back, like full Zeus style. You know, like it. You know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah, it's possible.
And like Aruja's biggest problem would be dealing with numbers or high damage opponents. Hence why he probably lost to Cracker. You know what I mean?
I think numbers would actually be better for Arouge because just like lots of little scratches that just slowly power him up over time. I think the big thing with Arouge is he doesn't want to get hit by like too many like big
hits.
chunky hits. Yeah.
It's interesting though. It's definitely interesting. It's not related to the series, but it's funny to think about. In the end of the series, Zoro and Sanji beating the hell out of the admirals, but even both of them fighting together, they can't defeat a Navy soldier. Fair.
But actually, yeah, it would be funny to see like a scene like that. Like they're fighting like one of the standard soldiers and they just keep getting in each other's way.
like, get out of my way, and then they go over to start
That's got to be Helmeppo though.
an admiral.
That's got to happen to Helmeppo though. Like specific, like
Yeah.
because like you know how he's always like Kobe, you're getting so far ahead of me and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
imagine the hype being built up around all the other Marines. By the way, I want to talk about some Marines because I've been re-looking at some Marines now. Dude, imagine how funny it would be. Helmeppo, everyone's like, he's a scrub, he's not that important and that. And like, he's come a long way since we've known him, but it's like, he's still a bit of a scrub. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, imagine if it looks like he's getting a dub on Zoro and Sanji 2v1 while Luffy and Kobe go at it. Because they're bickering, and he's just like, you're distracted. What the hell? And it's like, they're clearly over him, right? And it's not until, like, Tashigi shows up that, like, Zoro's concentration diverts enough for him to, like, not be beaten because of just sheer shenanigans.
Yeah.
That would be funny. Speaking of, I've got to ask you, this is a weird question. Who's your favorite Marine? Not your, like, not what Marine you like the most, but, like, who's your favorite Marine that's, like, as a Marine? I know that might sound weird.
I think it's a toss-up between... actually, no. I think it's Garp.
You reckon it's Garp?
He's just so marine. He's so like, I'm marine.
Jarhead haircut and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, with the whole, like, just like, the way that he acts around Luffy, just like, I'm just gonna hit you until you do what I say.
Dude, I love Garp. I love Smoker. Chat saying Fujitora. I freaking...
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, is I was tossing up between Up and Fuji.
I love T-Bone.
T-Bone, yeah. T-Bone's good.
Former captain, current Rear Admiral T-Bone. Mr. Take the shirt off my back for a civilian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His motto is 100 good deeds a day. Like, weirdly enough, like, he's so unfortunate looking. Like, he looks like a zombie, you know what I mean? But it's like, dude, he, like, if you had one Marine at your town that's meant to guard you but also help out around the town, like, I would be just like, please take me to T-Bone. Please. He'd be the only, like, dude, a third of the Marines are dicks. The other third of Marines are just like, and this includes Garb, like, just so self-absorbed.
Yeah,
like, dude, I love Garb, but it's like, even in the Reverie and that, when, like, Stelly goes up to talk to him, Garb has no idea who he is, and he's just like, who's this weird shit? And it's like, bro.
That's the thing, is that's how I see Marines. That to me is a Marine.
It's funny. I love it though. I love it. Oorah. Speaking of, we do have to do a stream sometime where we go through and give, like, our ideas for bounties for what the Marines would be if they were rogue. I reckon that's such a good concept for a video.
For a rogue?
Yeah, like, so, say, like, in an alternate world, like, this Marine became a pirate. Like, just left Marines and became a pirate, what would their bounty be?
Okay.
I reckon that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I was going to choose Akiji, but he's former. Reason, what the hell did... Oh, what he did at Ohara. Weirdly enough, I love Aokiji, but Aokiji I've never really rated as a Marine. That might sound counterproductive, but it's like...
Kind of get it. Like, so, like, the way that I took your question is kind of to mean, like, who is the most Marine-y Marine?
Yeah,
of the other? Like, who fits, like, the stereotype the most? And that's why I say Garp, is because it's like, I don't necessarily think that he's, like, the kindest or the goodest person. I just think, like, everything about Garp's personality is like, Marine.
Garp is a Marine. Akainu is a drill sergeant. Like, he's a dude just screaming in your face, like, you filthy maggot! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of...
I was gonna say, he's the guy in the war that, like, stands at in the trenches and, like, shoots you if you turn around, and then I realized, wait, he actually did that.
Yeah, dude, he did. He's not the only one though. There's others, man. Onigumo, he's scum.
Yeah.
Question orders, he shoots you point blank, right? Like, Marines shouldn't ask questions. Just follow orders. It's just like, man, I need to know why I'm blowing up a country. What the hell?
Yeah.
What's going to happen to the Emperor system? Well, the Emperor system is 100% down and out now. Like, we talked about this last video as well. The Throne Wars opened. Like, the prologue was Dofi going down. The next step was taking down Kaido and Big Mom. While at the same time, seemingly Shanks and Blackbeard, like Shanks is moving on Blackbeard, and the world government is moving, or the Marines are moving on the revolutionaries.
Yeah.
So, like, arguably, if all three of these are conflicts, we'll get winners for all three brackets, and then the winners will move on to the next bout. And that may or may not happen, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be super disappointing if we leave and the revolutionaries were all just defeated.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you saw that in a chapter, you would be like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, at this point, man, like Oda, I'm happy if Oda just like starts like going on
Game
a
of Thrones.
Game of Thrones
Yep.
nerding spree. But I don't want it to get, like I was saying earlier, like ridiculous, where he's like, I am the god of the moon, and I have every devil fruit.
I genuinely do feel like stuff's gonna be grounded, right?
That's good.
But at least, like, there's gonna be some crazy stuff, like, earthquakes and, like, I mean, we've been told that the strongest people can, split continents. And we've had people with stronger haki than that since. So it's like, there should be some big F-off attacks and stuff like that. But it's like...
I mean, just seeing Whitebeard and Roger clashing, and just the force of the clash literally just flattens the entire forest around them.
Yeah.
Seeing that was, like, insane to see.
Still going to spit chips. Excuse the Aussie phrase if no one knows that. If Boa is beaten, oh.
What a tragic day.
I reread these chapters recently, and I'll point out, if you do you have Google at the moment? Google up.
Yeah, I can get my phone out. Yeah.
Right. Just Google marine ships in One Piece.
Yep.
So
Images?
yeah.
Oh wait, in One Piece.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe they do have it. No, most of them don't.
You're looking at.
So there's a little flag under the helm on some of them, right?
Yeah.
But it's not on most. I noticed that if you go back and look at the chapters relating to the warlords being abolished, so
Yep.
Kobe's fleet of ships have that little flag on them, whereas other ones that we saw in the same chapter didn't. And the ones that Fujitora, like the ship with Fujitora, had them as well.
Okay.
And Fujitora's
Maybe
crew
there's
was...
like factions within.
Well, we know that there is, because we know that, like, Hina's in charge of, like, the Black Spear Squadron, and they've got unique ships and stuff like that. Gear 5, the same sort of thing. They got the G5 symbol on their ship. So there's definitely different squads with different unique ships, but...
There's a picture here of one of the marine ships with the flag, like you're saying, and it says the 77th branch ship. The name of the...
So... I don't know how to feel about it for the anime, but in the manga, Fujitora just, like, so see the big battleships, the warships with the 3 turrets on the front, like the big ones.
Yeah.
Fujitora has one of those, but it's also got the little flag at the front.
Okay.
I was wondering whether or not that little flag, whether it's a representation of his batch of ships or not, it could be related to the ships that can travel through the calm belt.
Okay.
Because one of the things that, like, we know that they put sea stone on the bottom of ships so they can travel through the calm belts without sea king going after them, but there's still no wind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, how do the
Yeah.
ships still travel with no wind? But
Have we seen
all
a picture of those? Have we ever seen a picture of those ships?
we've seen them in the manga, but like I'm saying, it's like I saw that in that specific chapter with Fujitora and Kobe's. Fujitora was fighting.
They have like rows on them.
We've never seen any oars or anything like that. I don't think.
Okay.
I can double check.
I got a picture here. It's called a grand ship, Navy warship with the 3 cannons. And it has like these little spiral things on the sides, which are like paddles, basically.
I'll just look up Fujitora calm belt. Oh, that's not working. Because there's also, like, remember when he was fighting the like his crew was fighting the Sea Kings?
Yep.
Oh, actually, I might be wrong there. His ship doesn't look like it's got the little flag out the front of it, at least in this version. But the ships that are with him have it. But I was wondering if they've got some, like, if those little sails are part of the reason how they get through the calm belt. Because instead of the paddles, what if they've got like a little man-made launcher or something that they can blow air into, like that little sail to keep some momentum. Something that Vegapunk made.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a random tangent that just popped into my head while I was looking at that. Sorry. Thinking now the Straw Hats have 3 people who can use Conquerors. What are your thoughts? Next arc, Sanji's going to unlock it apparently. Like it.
Apparently.
Like I said, Sanji always gets proven the arc after that he's definitively number 3.
Right.
Like, if Advanced Conquerors or having Conquerors is going to be the thing that makes you have to get into that spot, I mean, he's become one with himself, so he's no longer in a turmoil, is he?
True.
And Dressrosa, he was leading. Zoe, he was leading. Right? Whole Cake Island, he took up a leading position for some of it. And then, even in Wano, like, he may not have taken up a leadership role, but he beat the shit out of Queen, accepted himself for who he is, and got mad power-ups. I could see him potentially unlocking Conqueror's Haki. But maybe never progressing past basic. You know what I mean?
I mean, I could see it, but I think the only reason for him to get it would be to learn Conqueror's armament. Not Rio, but Conqueror's armament. And I could see that happening if he's going to fight something like Kizaru in the future.
Do you...
Here's the thing, though. I think it might be possible to learn Conquerors just to learn Conqueror's armament, if you get what I mean. Like, I have like such a will of conquering that like I can make my leg a Conqueror's armament, rather than like I have the will of conquering so I can make you pass out.
I mean,
I think
yeah.
it's potentially possible that you can kind of like, I mean, like, example, Zoro has never shown the AoE blast that knocks people out, right? Just conquers
No,
armament into his
he has. He
I
has.
really want to cut you.
He did before he armored it up on his swords against King. He knocked out the fodder with it.
Out?
Beast Pirates.
Oh, right, yeah, but although, to be fair, that was just basically Enma pulling so much of his Conqueror's Haki out that it was just, like, radiating out of him. I don't know if that was him going, like, pulse.
But I get what you mean. It's like Yamato. Yamato hasn't shown regular or advanced armament, but she can do the advanced armament conquerors. You know what I mean? Which, as we know from Luffy's perspective, it's like to like it's the same process as doing it with your armament, but just using your Conqueror's Haki. But Yamato hasn't shown the fortitude for like armament Haki at all.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Which is an interesting dynamic. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
I mean, here's the thing as well is like next by the like let's say Yamato does join the crew. Next arc, it could just be like, oh yeah, I was chatting to Yamato about like how she fights, and she taught me how to do Conqueror's kicks. Simple as that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's weird because we still don't know whether or not you can learn conquerors because we know, like well, I say learn, we don't know whether or not you can develop conquerors if you're not born already with the disposition for a conqueror.
Yeah, we don't really know anything about Conquerors to be honest. But at the same time, it's kind of like like everyone in the Straw Hat crew follows their dreams so strongly compared to like a normal person. You know what I mean? Like almost everyone is not willing to genuinely risk their life for their dream. But every single person on the Straw Hat crew will not only die for their own dream, but they'll kind of die for the dreams of the other crewmates as well.
Mm.
They are all like insane with their like levels of.
I find it interesting though because it's like Sanji's forte is observation. He's got armament, but it's like his main thing's observation and speed. Jinbei's fishman karate, like Jinbei's armament haki is top notch, just like regular armament.
Yep.
But his fishman karate emulates Rio, advanced Rio.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like where Luffy like punches a tree and blows it up from the inside, Jinbei does the same thing and the water explodes.
Yeah.
And then Yamato has shown she's at least able to register attacks coming from Kaido, but like her observation haki has been shown at best so far on like the same level as kids, and her armament haki again on the same level of kids, practically non-existent. Like I bet Yamato and Kid have it, but it's like at the same point in time, I've never seen them use it.
I mean, whose armament haki has been shown more than that level outside of like people that are showing advanced techniques? I feel like that's just the
No,
standard.
but she hasn't even shown the basic technique.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm saying is that like it seems like kind of everyone doesn't show the basic like shows the basic technique unless they show a specifically advanced technique.
No, but what I'm saying,
At
like,
this point, it's kind of just assume that if you have haki, you probably have an observation haki. But unless you're showing off, like, unless someone specifically mentions, like, "Wow, I can't believe you saw that coming,"
yeah. No,
you probably don't have a great.
no,
Yeah.
I agree with that. Sorry, I thought we were talking about armament there.
No, no, no.
Because that's what I was getting at, where it's like, yeah, they only ever highlight when you've got like a good observation haki. Otherwise, you've just got like generic danger sense, which is all that Yamato's shown, like same as Kid. But like I was saying, like Kid,
It's what you kind of need unless you want to be like a cut above.
yeah. But like what I was saying is like there has been zero showcasing of regular armament for her or for Kid. Like
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, there's been showcasing of like Conqueror's armament. Like, for example, her blocking some of Kaido's hits. I don't see anyone on the rooftop blocking those hits other than Luffy.
yeah, no, like again, it's the technique. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like she's got like the advanced conqueror's technique, but like in terms of just like generic armament, like it is straight up non-existent, like the Topiropo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, like, I guess what I'm getting at is like, why would you use normal armament when you have Conqueror's armament? If you get what I mean.
Defensively,
Her Conqueror's argument is her Conqueror's armament is essentially her armament.
I would say defensively, if that makes sense. Like when like Dofi gets punched in the face, he harkies up his cheek. Same with Law. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but I kind of feel like if you have Conqueror's armament, you just do the same thing.
I don't think Conqueror's
Yeah.
armament would do that. I don't think it would block that or defend that. I think it's only offensive.
Only an offensive thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't see that happening.
The only way in which it would be defensive is literally like pushing yourself off. If that makes sense.
Okay, I guess I would say the only way it would be defensive is to like negate the other person's conquerors that's hitting.
Yeah. Because we've
Or,
had an
yeah, and
example.
other than that, just in terms of absorbing raw force, armament would do just as well.
We've had an example of someone using it defensively already, without the other person having advanced conquerors.
Mhm.
Like Zoro, when he was fighting King, used conquerors because, like, you know, like that shockwave force that comes from it.
Yep.
He used that to like launch himself back to defend from an attack, but it doesn't actually like block an attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what I was saying is like from like a defensive standpoint, and it doesn't really matter because she's a mythical zone. She's got this like, if you give it to her, it's kind of like, man, she's got way too much defense going for her. You know what I mean? But it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I think her defense is kind of already spoken for itself,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, it's enough to hang against Kaido, but not enough to like really like.
But like,
to-
that's all I was getting at. Where it's like, she may have the advanced conquerors technique, but in terms of like armament haki, she's essentially a no show. Whereas Kid,
Yeah.
like, we're told that he's got all three types of haki. He's a no show on all three types in story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is depressing. It's definitely depressing because it's actually starting to get to the point where it's like, when Oda's saying these people have haki, it's like and like when he specifically says like they've got armament and observation, like he does for the Tobirobbo, it's like, okay, does that armament and observation not include just generic hardening?
Yeah.
Has it gone back to the invisible armament haki sort of thing where you can just make yourself a little bit more durable?
I get what you mean.
Because if that's the case, it's like, damn, Bellamy's got better haki than these people. That's sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, now the Straw Hats. We know that there are three ancient weapons, and one of them is Shirahoshi. And Imu destroyed three posters: Luffy, Blackbeard, Shirahoshi. Don't you think anything is wrong there? I don't think Luffy and Blackbeard are the other ancient weapons because, I mean, Pluton's a battleship. I feel like that's been more than established. You know what I mean?
I don't
Shiro
know. I still hang on to the theory that they're all
people.
the same shit. Yeah, they're all people.
I would say the three ancient weapons were just like the three biggest
What if
threats.
Zoe is? What if Zunisha is the ship?
Well, it was stated to have been kept in Alabaster.
I don't know. Maybe that's where Zunisha lived, and sent walking around or something.
Maybe. It'll be interesting.
Because I mean, regardless, there's nothing in Alabaster. Right, so like, unless that
What do you
that
mean?
ancient is not going to come into this. Like, I mean, we've already been there.
Yeah,
We
but
sort of came from it.
we could have someone, whether it's us or someone else, go there to collect it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But okay, well, so Im has basically said, "Oh, we're gonna go kill
Cobra or VV.
yeah, those people now." Do you think next minute they're just gonna show up and it's like, "Oh yeah, we survived that, and now we have an ancient weapon"?
I mean, shit, low key. Robin could have told Dragon, and if shit hits the fan in Alabaster, Dragon could let like the revolutionaries of Alabaster know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, possible.
Like there's some crazy twists that could be out there. I don't know. I mean, hell, you may blink and Kuma may teleport you there. But I really don't know. The ancient weapons, they're definitely going to come into play, and they're going to be super impressive. The question is two things. One, who's going to have them? Right? Because we know that the world government has things like a buster call that can wipe out an island, but then there are islands that the world government are just erased completely from existence.
Yeah.
They could very well be in possession of one of the ancient weapons, which is why they've like, even in the worst situations, have been able to hold military might around the world, because essentially they've got a gun to the world. And obviously we know Shirahoshi's one, and that's like a temperamental thing where it doesn't always exist, right?
Yeah.
And then as for what is it? Neptune? No. We've got Poseidon, Pluton, and Uranus. I don't know what Uranus is. Like, I reckon Uranus might be something in Elbath, maybe.
Yeah. Uranus to me is yeah, it's hard.
Or, I mean, it could even be the civilization on the moon.
Here's the thing: they have to come into it because they've been talked about too much to just not be in the story. But the question is, to what degree are they going to come into it?
Dude, you know how there's a whole different civilization on the moon?
Yeah.
Uranus is the god of the sky, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, okay. It could just be that the moon's like a Death Star. And that's how NL comes back into the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just could be some weird crap, you know? Who knows? It's hard. At this point in time, it's just... Unless we go into mad speculative situations, and when I say that, I mean, like, looking at the not the poneglyphs, but if you look at Shandora, the bell, the city, and the mausoleum in Alabaster, and you try to derive ancient weapons based off of the hieroglyphics, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'll try and look it up. I've shown you in the past, I think, about the Alabaster Mausoleum.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen
Right? I think there was... Because there was, like, you know, fish and stuff like that on it. So it's like, it could be the, what are they called? It could have been, like, that's representing sea kings, and I think there was a boat there as well, so that could be representing, Pluton. It's hard to tell. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's really hard.
Like, there's just so many intricate things, which is why I'm like, either some of these plot lines are never going to get, like, fully resolved, or stuff's going to start moving in an odd and quick direction, and it may not, like, stuff may not get fleshed out as much as we want. And we sit, like, I've talked about this in the past, right? It's part of Oda's setup writing, where it's like, dude, how badly would you have wanted to see Akan Universe Aokiji?
Yeah, right. Pretty bad.
Like, we know what happens, but we just don't see it. We gloss past it because it's not part of our journey, even though it's like, oh my god, this is so badass. You know what I mean? Like, and although we get hype about it, it's like, dude, for 25 years, the fans have been saying to Oda, oh my god, this is so hype. Oda could just have it in his head that it's like, yeah, that's hype. I've done it. Okay, let's go. And just gloss over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. That being said, though, ooh, I reckon in the next 5 chapters, one of 3 things is going to happen, right? We're going to see that we're either going to see the SSG, and that like some of the warlords have been defeated. We're going to get a Vegapunk reveal, or we're going to get a Green Bull reveal.
Okay.
And I'm going to follow this up, actually, in an interesting way. I reckon Green Bull, based on the silhouette, is going to look like Momonosuke.
Is it in the exact same or what? Just
Similar. This, to the point where you could argue, oh, he may be he may be related to Momo in some capacity.
Okay.
Because he's got the long hair. Like, have you pull up the silhouette of Green Bull.
I've seen it, yeah.
You know, he's got the long hair. He's got the Chad chin. You know what I mean? And he's, him and Fuji seem like they've got the samurai attire. I don't know. I reckon that could work well. Potentially.
I mean, I could see him looking similar. I just think like I would definitely agree that he looks kind of like a generic
Samurai.
looks like a samurai exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, just like this chapter, the way we see Momo's silhouette side on, like when we see his chin and that when he's frowning,
Mhm.
it looks very similar to Green Bull. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you've heard like heaps of the theories about Green Bull. How it's like, maybe he's related to Zoro. Green Bull, Shimotsuki's being bulls and that sort of stuff. Although I heard a theory that made me really interested lately, which was that he may be a chef, but he doesn't he doesn't partake in food. So he's like, you know how his whole thing is like, I haven't eaten in 3 years, but I would if a woman fed me.
Yeah.
He may sort of be like the antithesis of Sanji.
Super Sanji.
Yeah.
I mean that would actually work really well because then like Sanji wouldn't have to fight like Kizaru.
Yeah.
It could actually be like um maybe Fuji and Green Bull are just like a slight bit below the admirals, and that way it's like they don't have to beat an admiral, they have to beat
I mean,
admiral.
at this point in time, they are admirals, so they're as admiral as you can get, arguably.
Yeah.
They just may not be as strong as the OG3, but who knows, right?
That's what I mean because like the OG3 have had a lot of hyping, but these new two have only had as much hyping as like Fuji has been given. A lot of people shit talk him because he didn't have as great a showing as people the other admirals had.
Do you know what the problem is? The problem is we've seen people resist Fuji's gravity a little bit, but we've also seen him lift up an entire country's worth of rubble so precisely that he didn't injure a single individual on the island, including the dwarves, right? And then pull meteors from space down to Earth. Like, we've seen him like unsheath his sword and just like put a hole down to the fucking planet core. You know how Luffy and Law just like what they just did to Big Mom. We've seen Fuji do stuff like that already, man. It's weird,
Yeah.
So it's like I look back and I see those things and I'm like, oh my god, Fuji's a god. And then I'm like, but he's not a Logia. Like
I personally think once you've hit the level that we are at in the story now, Logias ain't shit.
I reckon.
I think Logia's at this point, Logia's like a Paramecia, and you can just move a bit better. You got a bit more mobility.
Yeah, but
everyone can hit you, right?
yeah, no, but like to me, it's not about the hitting. It's like for starters, if you got good observation, you're essentially Katakuri in defense. Yeah, but like Aokiji can literally just flex a muscle and freeze kilometers around him solid.
Yeah, but then again, Oven, who isn't like is an inferior version, can put his hands in the ocean and boil it.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, you can
like it's not instant, but he does have an inferior fruit.
Yeah, but dude, at the same time, it's like, dude, it's near instantaneous. It's like it's layers and layers of versatility and utility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Akainu. Akainu's getting his shit rocked. He just, turns into magma, goes under earth, and then comes back out when he's healed up. It's like Picker, but instead of you got to get him out of the stone, it's like he just becomes everything. You know what I mean? And then, like, low-key, we've just had Wano end, right? Like, the fighting is ended. The aftermath is not what it was like at Punk Hazard.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, most of, like, there was some big, heavy hits, but it's like, Wano didn't end up anything near like what Punk Hazard did.
Oh, like in terms of everything being destroyed.
Yeah. And, like, I know that went for 10 days, but it's like, you got to think, not even that. You know how there's a river in the middle of Punk Hazard? That was land originally. The strikes between Akainu and Aokiji just bore a hole down below sea level that when they finished fighting and left, the sea just filled in the gap. But while they were there, it was just like, it was almost like an underwater city Like it was like an empty dam, and they just like created a dam while they're fighting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's some crazy scale.
Like, well, so the thing is though is like, Luffy and Kaido fought in the sky.
Yeah.
Primarily, and they were kind of like both of them were kind of intentionally not trying not to destroy the ground below them.
Yeah.
And then I mean, potentially they've blown up Wano if this volcano erupts and like sends Wano into this ocean.
I would say yes, but the way it ended, it sounds like Wano's going to be fine.
No, I think they just needed a chapter of, hey, I'm Momonosuke, I'm gonna be the leader now, I'm back, blah blah blah. They just needed that chapter before shit went down. Because if the shit went down first and then Momonosuke came in and was like, it's okay, I'm here, I'm your leader, it's like, you know, you're not really gonna expect everyone to calm down and start celebrating. They're like, what the hell is going on?
I don't disagree. It's just you know what I mean, though.
But
It's
yeah,
like
I get what you mean. Like it's not like they're accidentally like wiping out an entire island. Although I think like, you know, it could be argued the other way back and forth. I think.
yeah, no,
Like,
it can.
They like the admirals intentionally went to an island so that they could basically
Fight.
destroy it while they were fighting.
Yeah.
They literally were
And,
just like,
I mean,
hey, we're just gonna fight until everything gets annihilated.
We probably will never see the admirals fight to that same extent, because whenever we do come across them, it's almost always going to be in a situation where they've got to be holding back. And people that turn around and be like, the admirals never need to hold back, you're full of it, you're just making excuses. We know they do. All of their introductions with them being introduced under the guise of, hey, you guys need to hold back. You guys need to pull your punches a bit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, Aokiji
Yeah,
froze the ocean solid, connecting 10 islands together. You know what I
That's
mean?
what I was gonna say. Like he, I mean, even at the war, even at Marineford, like he instantly
Froze
the ocean solid and then froze
Bay.
the wave, and then Keanu did like a meteor rampage down on the ice.
Yeah.
Just like melted heaps of the ice as well. It was like if that was landmass, that whole landmass would just be devastated.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even
It was just
Kizaru,
crazy.
Kizaru's introduced doing a kick to scare some fodder, and it blows up one of the mangroves at Sabating, and they're huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the island's made of them. Like, the roots and, like, the ground that we walk under are just a bit of soil over the roots of those mangroves, and Kizaru's, like, dropping them. There's only 40 or 100 of them, isn't there?
Something like that. I'm not sure how many.
Hang on. Either way, it's like a single kick took out, like, what? If it took out 1/100th or 1/40th on an island, that's still a hell of a big thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this. So there's 70... there's 70 trees in total. Right?
Huh?
And he just cleanly destroyed one on accident, scaring a fodder character. You know, like, you kicked a 1/70th of an island out of existence.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And I mean, like, I mean, you saw what Fujitora did. Like, Kaido lifting Onigashima, that's impressive. Fujitora could probably do it with bloody Dressrosa too. And that's a bit bigger.
I still kind of maintain though that like it's not as big of a deal if like people do like DC to just like stone once you've passed the position where it's like people are like cutting mountains in half.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between like cutting a mountain in half and cutting like an entire mountain range in half is like nothing other than like your sword is a bit longer.
The difference is, what I probably would like to see a little bit more is, like, when these people dodge an attack, every now and then, like, especially while we're in this top tier, show what happens to the environment if they miss an attack, to give a sense of, like, what destructive power they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, because Oda does it in an interesting, and it's a good way, but it's also a bit of a counterproductive way, where it's like, Luffy Luffy, in terms of Haki, punched, punched and broke Don Chinchao's head, which we were told, saw, and has been explained to split a continent, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, in terms of Haki, anyone that was at Luffy's level of Haki or stronger there, so Cracker, Katakuri, Kaido, Big Mom, right?
Yeah.
Even, like, in terms of Haki, they should be equal to or stronger than that same level of feat. Even though I would argue that maybe some of that strength comes from the fact that it's a sharp point and it's a martial art style. You know what I mean? But it's like, dude, show one of these people just like going, like missing a punch. Like, imagine Luffy in Gear 4 misses a punch and you just see his hand disappear into the ground and it's just like going, like, it was just such a fast, strong punch. It's just buttering through the ground.
Yeah, that would be good.
You know what I mean? Just like, you know, a few little bits and pieces like that. But at the same point in time, it's hard because, like, a lot of the time we're, especially us as well, we're fighting to protect the area we're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the only two exceptions in One Piece are probably Enies Lobby, Whole Cake Island, and Marineford. Everywhere else, we're trying to protect the area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luffy's Baggerin gun versus Garp's fist. I'm going the Baggerin gun.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
that gun is the single highest DC we've seen in the entire series.
It punched a kilometer-long creature through bedrock, through a country, down underneath the country. And we don't know how big the country is, but like, how many times have we seen, like, I'll just go to last chapter, right?
Mind you, this creature was like hakied up, like covered in magma,
Yeah.
flying at him like full force.
Blocking with Conqueror's Haki.
Yeah, blocking with Conqueror's Haki, which is a force that's like also split the continent.
Like, okay, right here. Ooh, I scroll past it. Last chapter, halfway through, you see Zoe around getting towards the border of Wano, right?
Mhm.
And we see Zoe is a little bit taller, but still roughly the same size as just the pillars around Wano, right?
Yeah.
So Zoe's probably shorter than Wano, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So the bottom of the sea floor is 10 kilometers down, and Zoe's 35 kilometers tall. So Luffy punched Kaido 25 kilometers at least through rock. Just like, think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Like, and I know, like, you know, it stops making sense when you try to put too many numbers to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get ya.
But it's like, dude, he essentially punched him to the magma that's in the Earth's core that's starting to leak out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, same thing almost happens with Punk Hazard though. Like, have you? When was the last time you saw the crater at Punk Hazard?
Punk Hazard, probably ages ago.
The island split, and there's
The one in the center.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
So that bit in the center, right, is the like epicenter of Aokiji and Akainu's duel.
Yeah.
Where is it? I'm trying to find the bit in the manga. I think they showed a fraction of it in the manga, didn't they? Nope. That's fan stuff. Maybe they just showed them facing each other and that was it. Oh yeah, here it is with Jinbei. Yeah, they show them and they're on solid ground, right? So that ocean in the center they made by clashing, burrowing down under the surface, fighting each other. That's some.
Where did you send this?
Oh, sorry, I just had it up on the chat, on the stream.
Okay,
I can send it though. Yeah, I'll send it. through Discord.
Discord, by the way.
Yeah, join Discord. If you haven't already, join the Discord. You're only helping yourselves.
It's really helpful, like knowing when the chapters are coming out, like just getting the notification pop up.
It's also good for
Really
just
good.
bouncing ideas and like hearing things that you haven't heard about the series before.
Mhm.
You know what I
And
mean?
it just so happens that I have a 7 a.m. client on Fridays, so I get up, and now that they're coming out at like 6:30, I'm just like, quickly read One Piece before I head to work.
Oh, I can't find where I just saved it. Where is it? I'm just gonna change the name of it. That'll make my life easier, I reckon. It's so hard just saving images, and they have just random information. Here we go. Okay. Have a look at that. Zoro getting Kitetsu the second in exchange for Kitetsu the 3. I hope so. I hope we get to see the knee die before we leave Wano. And I hope Oda gets it. If not, I'm going to be a little bit gutted. I'm not going to lie. I could even see Zoro returning Enma, despite what people think. The reason for that is now that the battle's over, he might sort of look at it. Like, he may go to Ryuma's grave and be like, yeah, you know, much love, peace out. You know, like, I can't take your sword back, I've returned it, you know, thanks for, you know, giving me a lend of it and that. And then he may sort of look at it and look at Hiyori and be like, this was your legacy, not mine, and give it back. You know what I mean? And take the knee die instead. And I know that's like sort of a shifting in that, and like people might be like, oh, Zoro's getting a nerf, but it's like Zoro unlocked the Advanced Conquerors and Rio himself now. So it's like you're taking the training wheels off him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, you know, if he turns it into a black blade or if he keeps it, good for him. It's just not 100% necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, do you see that the epicenter of their clash? That makes a whole damn like ocean deep. Remember, Sanji dives under for Kinemon's body, and he has to skywalk under the water. It's that far down.
Yeah, true.
That's a big battle, man. That's a big battle. And like I can perfectly understand why they didn't do it here. Honestly, it kind of felt like for a period there that they were just going to do it to Onigashima. You know what I mean? And they, you know, I mean, they took the horns off Onigashima and like they broke heaps of it away. Like Big Mom put a hole, like, you know, a hole through the temples on it. Like it's banged up. Speaking of, are we ever gonna get the name of Onigashima, like the proper name?
I don't know.
Because that's another thing that Marco teased. Hey.
True.
Anyway, look, we've been going for a while now. An hour, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Holy hell. Time flies when you're reading One Piece, doesn't it?
Time flies.
Might wrap it up here. Any last questions, chat? King of Hell Zoro needs a new title. We can't call him Pirate Hunter forever. What are you talking about? He'll be known as Pirate Hunter forever because his whole thing is he just hunts down the other pirates. He'll hunt down the captains. He don't care who, right? It doesn't matter. He's a pirate. He'll kill them all, cut you down, and take your cash.
He'll be like once the series is over, he'll basically he'll be the single warlord remaining. He'll do what Mihawk does, just sail around killing people.
Actually, Sage, earlier you asked what will happen after the Yonkos go down. I was gonna say this. It actually may, like, and for lack of better term, I'm actually using like the real world terminology for this. It may turn into a bunch of warlord situations where, because we saw when Whitebeard went down, how people immediately started trying to take over his territory, right? Like Brownbeard and stuff like that. it may just go into sort of martial law, where, like, Supernova start trying to claim territory and stuff like that until Luffy really takes that step forward and sort of claims, like, the mantle of Pirate King to sort of, like, bring the riffraff back in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because at this point in time, like, it's... yeah, you know what I mean, don't you?
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll wrap the stream up there. Do you have any predictions for the next chapter at this point?
No predictions.
All right.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I said it earlier. I think it's just gonna be jumping around the world a little bit. I think it's going to be at least one more chapter of just chilling out.
All right.
Continuing to wrap up.
I reckon. I reckon we stay on Wano next chapter and it ends with a bit of a cliffhanger, something spicy, or we see the Gorosei's reaction to Kaido having been defeated.
Okay.
And maybe Akahinu's.
Yeah. Okay.
That may be a really interesting thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Akainu does the NL face? Like, dude, oh, okay, no. Imagine if at the moment it's like all teed up for Dragon and Akainu to sort of face off. Like, Dragon set up this whole. Dragon's like on the verge of invading, and that, like, they know where their whereabouts is. It's pretty much like, we're gonna get Sabo back. We've got to do this now, sort of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Gorosei find out about Luffy beating Kaido and Big Mom. They drag Akainu into a meeting just before he's meant to go out and have a showdown. They tell him that they've been defeated. He does the NL face, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're gonna need you to stop what you're doing and go handle Straw Hat Luffy right now." And then he does like the white beard and Odin disgust faced. Whereas, like, I've already got plans to take out the world's worst criminal. What do you want from me? That, like, I know that's a stretch, but that would be funny as anything, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, I need the address to send some mail for SBS questions, because you know what I need? Like, I really need.
Hmm?
You know how Oda's done the gender bend characters, like the Straw Hats and the Warlords?
Yeah.
Show me the gender bent Yonko.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Like, I would love, like, dude. I mean, Kaido might just be like Yamato. Big Mom might just be like Capone, Big Father. Oh, dude, Whitebeard still has white facial hair. He's like an old lady that grows a mustache. That would be kind of funny, wouldn't it? Like, it's a little rude, but we've always met a lady in our lives that's got a mustache. I'm just saying. Bit disrespectful, but that'd be funny. Chat saying Luffy will wake up, Yonko are down, Warlord title is gone, whole world is going to be unbalanced. He would say it's not surprising because they knew the true power of the Gumma Gumma no Mi. Yeah, but they'd be surprised that he awakened. Although, if they do get that go-ahead, they may send Rob Lucci and the rest of CP0 to Wano. Or to try and assassinate the Straw Hats. Because that would actually be interesting, where maybe instead of setting up, like, trying to set up a new arc villain for something, they actively try to assassinate the Straw Hats. Maybe they just naturally travel to Elbaf, and CP0 try to, like, infiltrate and kill them, and then they just take out CP0 members.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be a little interesting, and it's like, the Straw Hats doing it while Luffy and Zoro are still maybe recovering, because they're maybe not 100% still.
Yeah.
That would definitely be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
What if I say Shanks and Dragon are brothers or both celestial dragons? I feel like, if anything, Dragon's wife would have been a celestial dragon, but Dragon himself, no. But then again, like, I feel like Oda said in the past that Luffy's mum would have been ugly. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
low-key, like, Dragon's got a bit of a grumpy scowl, receding hairline, widow's peak, big ass nut. Like he's not like he's powerful, but he ain't really like he ain't out here like Ace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So like, he ain't the world's best looker. Like Ab-Zero, Dirt Tricks. All right, we're gonna wrap the stream up there. Thanks for coming, Daniel. Say your piece.
Your piece.
Good enough for me. Until the next video or the next stream, like I said, we may organise doing some more sort of just generic fun streams that aren't talking about the chapters. Maybe talking about things like I was saying before, if we gave world government officials bounties and other stuff like that. In the meantime, keep an eye out for that stuff by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, hitting the bell icon for more notifications for content like this and all that good stuff. Cheers for coming by. Nothing but love, nothing but respect. Have a damn good day. Daniels, say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.